welcome back to JK Dentis. Today we are going to cover a very important topic, that is impression theories. And I know you all are waiting for this topic since long time. So I got many requests for this topic, so I thought we should discuss about the impression making because it is the primary pillar of a denture. The first thing you make is an impression, and that must be very accurate for a good denture. So today we are going to discuss about what is primary impression, what is diagnostic impression, what is final impression, and what are the different theories and how we make an impression. So first I will discuss about the different impression theories so you get an idea about the impression making. First theory is mucostatic theory. What it is? Mucostatic. Static word is very important. It explains itself what it means. Static means at a place. Non-pressure, pressureless technique. So it is also called as a pressureless technique. In 1938, Henry Page derived this technique, and you should know the name, that is Henry Page, in 1938. So important for the point of view of the MCQs. What he said? He said on the basis of Pascal's law. Now I'll first tell you what is Pascal's law. What Pascal's law says, if this is a liquid and I'll apply pressure on that liquid, that pressure is being distributed all over the area. So basically his theory was, when we apply a pressure on a confined liquid, so the term confined liquid, the liquid at a place, and when we are applying the pressure is distributed uniformly. So how this theory is advantageous in matter of dentistry? So whenever we are making an impression, we are applying a pressure to record the tissue. At that time, while recording, the area will be less traumatized. Secondarily, there will be very less bone resorption because the pressure is being distributed uniformly to all over area. If I'll apply pressure to this area, there will be more pressure, and if it is not distributed uniformly, that particular area will get resorbed, which we don't want. We don't want to affect the tissues. That's why this technique was very good, as it was less traumatized. And the material used, as the name says, mucostatic, fluid. The material must be very fluid in consistency. So it itself says light body, one of the most commonly used material. So the light body of condensation silicon material or the light body of addition silicon can be used to make the impression. The second one is zinc oxide eugenol. But as you all know, the eugenol causes a burning sensation. So nowadays it is being avoided to make the impressions. Then the third one is impression plaster. So the most common and most widely used is the light body. So this was about the mucostatic technique. But later on what happened, we found that there is no such thing that is confined liquid to support this theory. And again a theory was being given by Carroll Jones. So afterwards he gave a theory on mucocompressive technique. So as the name says, mucocompressive technique. So you can see in the word compressive, it means it is causing pressure to an area. So it is somewhat a pressure technique. So I'll give you an example with a pillow. For example, if I am applying pressure on this pillow, what happens? As soon as I relieve the pressure, the pillow sponginess comes back to its own place. That coming back to its own place is called as rebound. And similar thing happens with the tissues. Whenever I apply pressure on the tissue comes back to its actual original position. It acts as a spongy, it acts as that pillow. So according to this theory, whenever we are applying pressure, we are recording the tissues under pressure. So this theory says that whenever you are recording the tissues, so we are also recording the bony contours. And because we are recording the bony contours very good, the dentures have very good denture stability. So this was the basis of this theory according to the mucocompressive technique. The material used were, basically there is very commonly used material for this is impression compound. You all know how is the impression compound, the red cake that is being many times used for making the impression. The second one is putty consistency. So putty consistency, similarly the addition silicones as well as the condensation silicones comes in the heavy body consistency, or you can say the putty consistency. So what the consistency it is very thick. It have high viscosity, while in the mucostatic they have very low viscosity, they have very fluid in nature. So here we want pressure, that's why it has heavy body, heavy material. So you can remember it in the compressive technique, you have a putty body or heavy body consistency material. So the disadvantage of this technique is that whenever you are applying the pressure, because of the pressure there will be more bone resorption as it is recording the tissue under pressure. Secondarily, there are chances of tissue rebound. As I have shown on the pillow, I am applying excessive pressure, the tissue will come back to the rest. So if you will apply excessive pressure, the tissue will try to come back on rest, and whenever you are placing the denture, your impression is being recorded with excess pressure. Whenever you will press the denture, the tissue will rebound and the denture will fall. So these are some disadvantages of the mucocompressive technique. Later on what happened, Boucher thought both the techniques have some disadvantage in itself. So he gave a technique called as selective pressure technique. So as the name says, selective pressure, it is a combination of both static plus compressive. This theory is basically based on that you have to apply pressure, but only onto that area which can bear the pressure. You have to relieve some area which cannot bear the pressure. So you all have watched my previous video on anatomical landmarks. If you have not yet watched, please see the link in the description box and watch that video. So it says there are some areas which are to be relieved. These areas are the incisive papilla in the maxilla as well as the mid-palatine raphe. I have already told you why this area is need to be relieved, as there is very thin submucosa in the mid-palatine raphe, and in the incisive papilla there are passage of the nerves as well as the canal. We cannot pressurize that area because it may lead to paresthesia. So we need to relieve that area. So what Boucher said is, you need to relieve some area and you can pressurize some area. So how we relieve it? So when we just make a special tray. What he said, you need to customize a tray. So whenever we are customizing the tray, we are relieving the mid-palatine raphe, okay, as well as the incisive papilla area. So there is incisive papilla area as well as the mid-palatine raphe. We are applying a thick spacer. So because of that spacer, that area will not be pressurized by the material. So this was the basis of the selective pressure technique, and many a times we are using the selective pressure technique for making the final impression. We will be discussing about what it is afterwards. So this was about the selective pressure technique. Now we'll discuss about another technique, that is myostatic technique. What we do, we take an impression that is overextended. What is the importance of making the overextended impression? In that impression, we are recording all the muscle attachments. Okay, so overextended impression is for recording the muscle attachments. After recording an overextended impression, we make a special tray, or you can say a custom tray, which is short of 2 mm. As we have already recorded a primary impression with an overextension, we are recording a special tray which is 2 mm short. And what we do the peripheral tracing. That is, we are tracing the peripheries, we are tracing the muscles, we are tracing the frenums with the help of low fusing impression compound, basically, or any other material like medium body, or we can use the putty consistency. We can use all these materials, but low fusing is basically used for sectional border molding, and the other two materials are basically used for single step border molding. Okay, this is used for single step and this is for sectional border molding. So what we do, we just add the material on the special tray and record the areas by molding the cheek or by molding the lips as well as by the tongue movements, and then make the final impression. So basically in our clinics we follow both techniques, that is myostatic, that is we are recording the peripheral areas, the muscle attachments, and combination of selective pressure, that is we are applying the pressure on the selected areas. So it is a combination of selective pressure as well as the myostatic technique. Then comes another technique, that is dynamic impression technique. So one thing that is remaining, the technique. So the myostatic technique is being given by John Fresh. So you must remember the names who gave the technique, that is important for the point of view of the MCQs. Then the next technique is dynamic impression theory. So what this theory is? This theory was given by Chase. And what it says, he says make a denture only by a primary impression. You don't need to go for other final impressions and all. You just make a final, you just make a primary impression and make a final denture out of it. And what you do, you use soft liner. So you know there is one material that is soft liner we are giving in a patient. The quality of this material is that it molds with time. It gives tissues a rest condition. It helps soothing effect on the tissues. So what he says, you make a denture and apply soft liner on that denture bearing area for about 3 to 4 weeks. And leave it like that. With time of 3 to 4 weeks, the tissues will get bounded and the soft liner will get molded according to the tissue. So it helps further to the denture, and you will recall the patient and then convert that soft liner to a hard liner. Obviously, we cannot keep the denture on a soft liner because it will get removed with time. You need to convert it into a hard liner by 4 weeks. So these were some techniques, that is we have covered about mucostatic technique, mucocompressive technique, selective pressure technique, then the myostatic technique and the dynamic technique. So the other two techniques are how you record an impression. So there were like open mouth technique and the closed mouth technique. In the open mouth technique, you make an impression in an open mouth condition by applying pressure by the fingers. While in the closed mouth technique, what you do, on the impression tray, you make the rims. Okay, that is maxillary rim as well as the mandibular rim, and ask the patient to close. It is used more towards a mucocompressive technique by applying the pressure on the ribs. So this was about the closed mouth technique. Now you will see what is the difference between a primary impression, diagnostic impression and a final impression. So what is a diagnostic impression? Whenever a patient comes at your clinic, you make him sit and make an impression to know how is the structure for a diagnosis, whether there is a bony spicule, whether there is any problem, to determine that. After making the diagnostic impression, you make a primary impression. Primary impression basically is made with either irreversible hydrochloride, that is the alginate, or it can be made with impression compound by a mucocompressive technique. That is, after making the primary impression, you get just an idea of the area. The problem with this technique is that there is no detailing, there is no accuracy. For that accuracy, you require a custom tray. That is a special tray. That is for a special, like if there is one patient name comes to me, like Seema, she comes to me, she will have a different anatomy. And some other boy is there like Rajesh, he will have some different anatomy. So we need a special tray. Each one have different special tray. So primary impression is being recorded with the help of a stroke tray, while a final impression is recorded with a special tray. Importance of final impression, and we get the accuracy. With the help of the tray, there is recording of the minute details, there is accuracy, so we get very good denture with the help of a final impressions. So there are 3 ways of recording an impression, that is diagnostic, primary and then the final, and when we further proceed to then jaw relation and our further procedures, as you all know. So in this lecture, I have explained you about what are the theories of impression making, what is open mouth technique, what is closed mouth technique. I have also explained you about what is diagnostic impression, what is primary impression, what is final impression. If you have any doubt on impression making, and if you want to ask any question, feel free to ask me on email, or you can ask in the comment box. If you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please don't forget to subscribe and press the bell icon. Thank you.